Hi guys, welcome to 5mantra.com. This is Kalyan, the faculty of aptitude, and we are going to take one different concept, one small concept of course, but it's one of the important one. Okay, to find out to solve so many cases, it's very important, right? So let us see how to find out the average of two numbers in a different way. See, just if you take an example 14 and 16, then how do you find out the average in general? Okay, we'll take 14 plus 16 by 2, which is 30 by 2 is showing 15, right? We'll give you the answer 15. So instead of finding like this, we can do this same problem in another way. See, to find out the answer in different method, it traces to another model. That's why I'm telling you. Otherwise, there is an application based on this. Okay. So see here, if you want to find out the average of that, first of all take the difference. How much is that? 2. And what is the half of difference? 1. Once again telling, here difference is 2 and half of the difference would be 1. Okay. Now, if you add this 1 to the smaller number 14, then what is the answer? 15 or not? And if you subtract this 1 from the bigger number, 16 minus 1, what is your answer? 15. Tell me, is these two values are representing this average or not? So what can we understand from this example? If you want to find out the average of the two numbers, instead of following the conventional method, okay, you can find out the average in another way also. That another way would be, you can subtract the half of the difference between them from the bigger number to get the average, or you can add half of the average to the smaller number to get the average. So simple thing is, if you want to obtain the average of any two numbers, okay, if you want to obtain the average of any two numbers, then you need to add half of the difference between them to the smaller one, or you need to subtract the half of the difference from the bigger number. It's a very salient feature, means very simple thing, but of course this is being used in different problems. How it will be useful, let us see. Okay, so just see, before going to do the problems based on this technique, once again we verify with one more example. Okay, let us see. Right. Okay, now here if you want to find out, take one more example, 13, 14. If you want to find out the average, what would be your answer then? 13 plus 14 means 13 plus 14 by 2, which is 27 by 2 or not? Means 13.5. That would be your 13.5. So your answer is 13.5 if you find in conventional method. Now let us verify the method we taught now, how it is. For example, 13 is a smaller number, okay, and difference between them is 1, and half of the difference would be 0.5. Okay, now 0.5 is added to smaller number 13. Okay, what is your answer? 13.5. Is it representing average or not? Okay, and next, even if you subtract that 0.5, which is half of the difference, from the bigger number 14, then also 13.5 is obtained, which is also representing average. So from this, I think for a lot of you guys might be clarified that how to get the average of two different numbers in a different way. Why I am using this different method? Is it necessary? Of course it is necessary, because it is useful. It is useful for the next application, means next model of the problems which we are going to teach right now. Okay, let us see what the model based upon this analysis. Okay, right. So let us go through that. Now let us see the exercise. I mean, we have two principles now. Okay, previously we said that when even number of terms are given, okay, even number of terms with equal differences are given, then average of the two middle terms would be the average of entire series. That I said. Once again I am telling you that small property. Here how to do that? Here if you take 11 okay, 15, okay, 19 and 23. We are taking like this. So how to find out the average of these numbers? We said before in the previous video, like if you want to find out the average of all of them, you don't need to add all them, and we don't need to divide it with 4, means number of observations, because here all the differences are equal or not, all are 4s. Okay, then simply what would be the average of this number, this entire series? Entire series average would be average of these two numbers or not. Simply what we can do, 15 plus 19 by 2, which is nothing but 34. 34 by 2 would be 17, right? So like this we can find out the average of any series with equal differences and even number of terms. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 terms, even number of terms and equal differences. Then we can find out the average. Okay, we can find out the average of the two middle terms to find out the average of entire series, right? Based on this, now we are going to do exercise in a reverse pattern. How to do this? For example, see here. Now let us have a look at this. Average of 6 consecutive integers is 17.5. Then find the first one of them, or then first one of them is dash. So what are our important areas here? We need to focus upon, okay, average of 6 consecutive integers. How many integers? 6. So just see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So this is these are the 6 consecutive integers. As we said before that, what would be the difference between every 2 consecutive integers, 1 or not? So here all differences are ones. All the differences would be ones. Differences between every 2 successive terms would be ones. Okay, means differences are equal or not? Once again I am telling you, here if differences are equal and those are number of terms are 6, that means even number of terms, then what is the average of entire series? Average of these 2 middle terms only, no? Average of these 2 middle terms, right? Okay, now if you take average of middle 2 terms, this is average of 2 middle terms or not? Average of 2 middle terms. Now let us come to know about the another principle. What is that another principle? Tell me. Here this average is average of the middle 2 terms or not? Okay, because here differences are equal and even number of terms are there. So this 17.5 is the average of what? These 2 middle terms or not? Okay. When you want to find out the average of 2 numbers, how to find it out? Simple thing. You need to add the difference between them, half of the difference between them to the smaller one, then we can obtain the average, or subtract the half of the difference between them from the bigger one. Okay, then also we can get the average. You can select any one of them, right? See here. So let us suppose this smaller number is x. Let us suppose this smaller number is what? X. So if you add, see what is the difference between every 2 successive integers? 1 only, no? Then what is half of the difference? 0.5, right? So 0.5 is half of the difference. Then if this is a smaller number, among these 2 this is a smaller number or not? So to this smaller number, if you add 0.5, then it would be average or not? Simple, that is average. So value of the average is given in how much? 17.5 or not? So now this would be equal to what? 17.5. 17.5, right? Pardon, just 17.5, right? Okay. So now, how much is x then? X equal to, okay, 17.5 minus 0.5. That would be how much? 17 or not? So here x value means this number is 17. When we got one number, then whatever the term you can find out, because we have the differences, we have the value of difference and we have the smaller one of the number. which is 17 we got. Okay, now if this number is 17 and all the differences are ones, can we find any term of the series or not? We can easily find any term of the series. So which term we need here? We need to find out first term. So we have to come back. If you want to come back, then what we have to do? We have to simply subtract the differences. So how many differences we have to subtract? This is 1 and this is 1. How many is the differences? 2 differences. Where each difference is 1, then 2 differences would be 2 ones are 2. So 2 should be subtracted for 17 to get how much? 17 minus 2, that would be how much? 15. So your answer would be how much? 15. So which of the option is correct? Option 2. I think you understood. So I am telling you guys, these models are already repeatedly given in a lot of exams. Please don't neglect them. Okay, leave it now. For example, now see here. Okay, now see guys, what is the problem given? Average of 8 consecutive multiples of 4 is 10. Right. How many multiples? 8 multiples. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 multiples. What kind of multiples? Consecutive multiples. Of which number? 4. I said you that for any number, consecutive multiples of any number, differences would be equal and that difference is equal to the number. Okay, equal to the given number. Is that right or not? For example, what would be the differences between consecutive multiples of 3? 3 only. 3 ones are 3, 3 twos are 6. That means difference is 3 or not? Or if you want to find out the differences between consecutive multiples of 5, 5 itself. Consecutive multiples of 6, the difference is 6 itself. Like that, here consecutive multiples of 4. So here difference is obviously how much? 4 only, no? Okay, all differences would be 4 between all these numbers. Okay, that is first thing we understood. Okay, now all the differences between every 2 consecutive terms are 4. Now our first condition, what is our first condition? Terms should be, number of terms should be even. Now how many terms are there? 8 terms. Means even number or not? First condition satisfied. Now what is second condition? Differences must be same. Differences are same or not? Second condition also satisfied. Now then what should be this average 10? Then average of the all numbers should be equal to average of middle 2 terms. That means average of these 2 terms is equal to average of all the numbers. Okay, now how to find out the average of these 2 numbers in a different method which we said in this video, beginning of this video. How to find out the average of 2 numbers in a different way? Okay, if you take small number as x, okay, what is the difference between every 2 numbers? 4 or not? What is the half of the difference? 2 or not? Half of the difference between the numbers. Difference is 4. Half of the difference is 2. Now, what I said you in that technique. Okay, if you add half of the difference to the in these 2 numbers, which is smaller? This is. So to this smaller number, if you add, you can get the average or not? So this is average. Where this average value was given as how much? 10 or not? So this would be equal to how much? 10. So x plus 2 equal to 10 means, okay, x equal to what? 10 minus 2. 10 minus 2 would be how much? 8. Clear? So 10 minus 2 equal to 8. So here x value we got as 8. Means one of the number we got the value, that is 8. And we are asked to find out which one. Last one of them, means which number we need to find? This number. How to find out the number? Here we have to move forward or back. If you want to move forward, we need to add the differences to the number or not? That's it. Here this is number 8. And to that, how many differences we need to add? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 differences we have to add. Each difference is how much? 4. Like that, how many differences we need to add to this number to get the last one? Okay, like that 4 differences we have to add. That means each difference is 4. Like that 4 differences are there, means 4 4s are 16. So 16 should be added to what? 8. Means 8 plus 16 would be how much? 24 or not? So here What is your answer? 24, which is option 4. I think you got it. Okay. So now, I think you guys would have understood. Otherwise, we'll do one more problem in this exercise. Let us see. Okay. See this, guys. One more problem we are going to do. Now, average of 6 consecutive even multiples. Once again, what is that? Even multiples. Okay. Now, average of 6 consecutive, okay, even multiples of which number? 3 is 57. Then last one of them is dash, means last number is which? Which one is the last number? First of all, how many terms? 6 terms or not? Okay. Take the gaps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 numbers are there. So even number of terms. First one is satisfied. Now, what are those numbers? Consecutive even multiples. Consecutive even multiples of which number? 3. What would be the difference between the consecutive even multiples or consecutive odd multiples of any number? Double the number or not? Okay, like for example, for 3 consecutive multiples of 3, consecutive even multiples or odd multiples of 3. How we have to calculate? Consecutive even multiples of 3 would be what? 3 2s are 6 and 3 4s are 12. Okay, 3 6 are 18. Now tell me, what is the difference? 6. What is the difference? 6. These are the consecutive even multiples of 3. That means difference between the consecutive even multiples of 3 is equal to 6, means double the number, like this. Okay, I think you understood. Now, if you got this matter, now let us see. See here. Now, what would be the difference between all these among all these numbers successively? What is the difference? Here, these are the multiples of, even multiples of 3. So, therefore, their differences between them would be 6's. Means all the differences are 6 because they are the consecutive even multiples of 3. Okay. Now, 6's are there. Now, I want to remind you once again that the number of terms is 6. Means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So, the number of terms is even and differences are equal. So, definitely average of this entire series is equal to average of the middle 2 terms. Is that right or not? And now, how to obtain the average of these 2 terms? Either we have to add the half of the difference between them to the smaller number or subtract the half of the difference from the bigger number to get the average, right? So now tell me, what is the, suppose if you take smaller number is x, okay, then x plus, what is difference between them? 6 or not? 6 or not? What is the half of difference? 3 or not? Half of the difference would be 3. Now what I said the rule, smaller among these two, between these two numbers, this is smaller one because this is successive. Okay, now this is smaller one means, okay, to this smaller number, if you add half of the difference, then we get the average or not? It's a very simple technique. So we get the average x plus 3. Means average would be how much? X plus 3. Means we have added the half of the difference between the numbers to the smaller one of the number. Okay, now the value of the average is given how much? 57 or not? That means here what we obtained, x plus 3 is equal to what? 57. Now x plus 3 equal to 57 means x equal to 57 minus 3, which is 54. So what is the value of x? 54. So now we got the value of x as 54. Now which one we need to find? Last one of them. Last one of them. So which is last one? This one. So you have to move forward. That means you need to add the differences. How many differences should be added? See, here this term is 54. Means after that how many differences? 1 difference, 2 difference and 3 difference. Means 1, 2, 3. 3 differences should be added to obtain the last term. What is each difference? 6 or not? Means 6 3s are how much? 6 3s are 18 or not? So 6 threes are means 3 differences, each difference 6 is added to 54, means 54 plus how much is that? 18. That would be how much? 72 or not? That would be your last term. Did we obtain this or not? So here which of the option is correct? Third option. So like this we are getting the answers. I think you guys would have understood that how to do these problems whenever we have given such kind of patterns. So guys, I think you would have enjoyed this technique also. This is also one more different technique. If you carefully observe from last 2 to 3 videos, you can simply say that without using the conventional formula of the averages, we can find out the averages of so many numbers when the differences between the numbers are equal. Differences between the consecutive terms are equal. Then we can find out using the several techniques as we taught in the previous videos. I think you guys would have enjoyed this technique, and in our next video we are going to explain to you about average of the first 10 natural numbers and first even natural numbers, odd natural numbers, like such kind of cases also we'll do, which can be and for which we don't need to use the formula again. Okay, there are some certain different formulas to find out all of them. Okay, so please be connected to us so that we can reach you with a lot of different many more videos, and you can get the more information from us. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe the channel, guys. Thank you very much.